Ahoy, mateys! We be returning to the pipes and pirate culture of the Country Squire radio, talking about Sir Walter Raleigh, who actually predates the stereotype that I'm performing right now. Arr.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does, but we'll get
I
into
guess
all
that makes
that.
sense. Okay.
Also, we've got a pipe question of the week about personal blending, and helping get your blendings out and all that kind of great stuff. Also, listener feedback, quick fire questions, and more happening right now on Country Squire Radio.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Beau. Good afternoon, man.
Man, good afternoon to you too, sir. How you doing today?
Doing all right. Yeah, it's man, we had a heck of a week last week, dude. It was International Pipe Smoking Day,
dude.
Of course, February 20th, and man, just had a killer sale, man. It was awesome, sending pipes and t-shirts and tobaccos all over the world, and we were really thrilled about that. So things are good, man. I'm kind of licking my wounds a little bit, still slowly recovering. We just have had so much going on, but yeah, man, doing well. Lots of people getting excited about pipe smoking here coming this spring, and good tobaccos are out there. Folks so far seem to like our Thin Mint limited edition tobaccos. We'll see.
I believe you did that.
If they pick up on continue to pick up on it, we get the reviews that we hope. We'll make that one of our house blends at the Squire. So anyway, really excited about that. What's going on with you, man?
Man, it's been good. So International Pipe Smoking Day has come and gone. I did as promised, did a live video.
Yeah.
In which we went through the couple. I had 4 different blends in my cellar that I pulled specifically to choose from. And so basically got on the live feed, and I kind of felt bad because I put one blend in that I knew everybody was going to try to push me towards, but I very specifically was not going to smoke, which was like my last remaining unopened Frogmorton.
Of course.
And so,
was it the across the pond?
Now it's Frog on a Log, my friend.
On a log.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Good.
And so I was sitting here and I'm like, I know, I want to smoke it too, but I'm saving it for once we officially move into the new house. It's kind of like
no, it's so funny. It's like as soon as you hear the cap open on that thing, the little that's like $100. That's what $100 sounds like.
That's right.
Right there.
Well, dude, and we could
$100.
We could sign it too and like up the value by at least 5 cents.
No, that's right.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, you might even decrease the value.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true. So maybe we should do that, and then I'll smoke it and feel less bad about it.
Right. No, that's right.
But ultimately, man, yeah. So I ended up smoking some Dunhill aperitif.
Oh,
and,
good.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Very
Excellent.
smooth, mild.
I haven't had that in a long time. Yeah,
it was good, and enjoyed the smoke, and enjoyed. Wait, no, hang on. Is that correct? Hang on. No, that's not right. That's not right. I was actually.
Oh, you smoked something else?
I did smoke something else. Oh, snap. Oh, people are going to call me out who watched
something
that
makes
video.
You forgetful and hungry?
No. It was VIP from the Pipe Club. Come on, help me out here, man.
I'm lost, dude.
Taps VIP. Taps VIP. If I'm remembering correctly. I think that's right.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. Well, one way or the other, it was a lot of fun doing.
Good.
The video,
well, I'm glad you had a good time,
despite the fact that I'm like all of a sudden blanking like crazy.
No, it was so delicious that you can't remember.
Yeah. No, it was. It is funny though. On International Pipe Smoking Day, I always find that I end up smoking kind of more English style blends as opposed to the aromatics, which I normally smoke, and I guess that's part of it, right? Like. The blends that maintain in the cellar are the ones that I'm not actually smoking.
Well, when you go through your cellar, it's one of those things where I haven't visited that in a while. I want to pull that out and give that a shot. It's I smoked 4 bowls of our new Thin Mint blend on International Pipe Smoking Day, and I was smoked out. I was absolutely smoked out. It was Darters and Ryan. Taps VIP. Okay,
I thought that was right.
Oh, cool, man. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Good.
But anyway,
you weren't having some kind of epileptic seizure or something.
No, I knew that was right. I knew that was right. Hey, man, I got to give a couple of shout outs to some folks. First off, man, I got to give a shout out to Eric Vanderpool. Who
I love Eric, man. He's such a good friend.
Dude, he hooked me up. He sent me an email with some recommendations, just getting ready for the move to Houston, and with some restaurants to check out. So I will definitely be checking those out. And then I also have to give a shout out to Robert, who's local and works at Lakeland Yard and Garden. Yeah, which is a local,
one of our local landscaping, like plant nursery kind of places.
Yeah, so I go in. I guess this was about a week or so ago, and my wife has sent me on a mission to go get flowers to help spruce up the house because, of course, it's
you're trying to put it on the market and all that stuff.
Exactly, and so I go in. Robert, very, very helpful. You're familiar. And I was like, I think I listened to your podcast. And I was like, oh, which one? He said Country Squire Radio.
Really?
Yeah, man. And so Robert hooked me up, man. Found some
That's awesome.
great flowers, and I just want to give a shout out to Robert because like as soon as the next person walked into the house, they made an offer that night. So,
Dude, that's great, man. That's
it's
great.
pretty awesome.
Priceless pansies, man.
I'm telling you, looks great, and the flowers held up in this crazy weather that we've
That's
been having
good,
too.
dude. That's awesome. Well, man, thanks to Robert. Come swing by the shop sometime, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, man, we got to give shout outs to those that are making the show happen. Of course, I'm talking about the Country Squire Radio International Pipe Club.
That's right.
We got a new Pilgrim member.
Yeah, good.
Michael Melinda.
Michael Melinda.
Melinda.
Michael Melinda.
Matilda. Nobody's gonna get that reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, welcome at the Pilgrim level. So glad to have you here on the Country Squire
Michael
Radio
Melinda. Yeah.
International Pipe Club. And then also, man, we've got a new patron as well, Joe M. Roach. That
would be
right.
Roca.
That would be
I think that's Roca.
Wow.
Yeah. Joe Roca, man. Thanks for joining us at the patron level. It's so gracious of you guys for helping us stick around here.
Absolutely. And of course, everybody from the patrons on up, by supporting the show, you also get access to that full 100 episode archive, as well as any kind of additional shows that may come along that way. So be sure to check it out. You can learn more at patreon.com/Country Squire Radio. All right, man. Can we jump into today's topic?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I think you're kind of driving the ship today.
Are you the captain?
Are you captaining the capstan?
I'm taking the helm, my friend. Yes, we are returning to our series of pirates and pipe tobacco, which we have done a couple of times. Now, I was thinking back to what the inspiration for this series was, and I think it was an article we got, I want to say 3 years ago, from a listener about a pirate ship that had been, I don't know if it's unearthed if you pull it out from the bottom of the sea. Unseed?
Yeah, right.
That doesn't sound right.
Unseed. No, is it like a rediscovered shipwreck kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And in it, they had found all these crates of clay pipes. And so, there was...
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember someone mentioning that.
There was kind of a question as to whether or not, was this... maybe like a shipment of clay pipes that was being, shipped overseas, or was it the fact that these were in use? And because of the way, if I'm remembering correctly, that the pipes were broken, because that's, you'd break the clay pipes and everything.
Right.
It appeared they were broken from use and not from shipment.
Okay.
And so the idea was you had this pirate ship floating around with all these dudes smoking pipe tobacco on it. So it inspired us to dive into one of my personal passions, which is piracy. Wait, that didn't sound right.
Why are all these things missing? Yeah, why is my knapsack plundered all of a sudden?
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of pirate lore and pirate history.
That's fun. It's the old Squire Scallywag.
Exactly, man. Yeah. We got the Squire Scallywags to prove it. And so we are reopening this topic. We've talked about some specific pirates in the past, Bartholomew Roberts. We've talked about Benjamin Hornigold most recently. And today we are talking about a unique pirate in that he doesn't necessarily fall into the traditional golden age of piracy per se, but whose name is, I think, fairly synonymous with pipe tobacco, both in England and in America today.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Sir Walter Raleigh.
Raleigh.
If he was born American.
It's Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh.
And it's Raleigh.
SWR, as the kids are calling him these days. Man, he was one of the era of Elizabethan pirates.
Yeah.
Now these were commonly known as sea dogs, and you might hear that term sea dog and think about it's one of those pirate terms that gets thrown around a lot. Yeah. That ironically don't necessarily have the same connotations that we may ascribe them to.
Yeah, but it makes me think initially of that tobacco from Dan Tobacco, Salty Dog. Yeah, Salty Dog. It's a real hard plug that they do. But so the connotation would be more of a kind of scoundrel. Is that the idea?
Well, I think that's what we kind of in our modern lexicon would see it as, a scurvy ski dog or something of that nature.
Right.
But in fact, the sea dogs were more akin to privateers than they were to actual pirates. In fact, that whole group was set up as kind of almost a pseudo extension of the British Navy. And thus they were kind of allowed through these kind of letters of marque to go about and raid Spanish ships, gather up the treasure, bring them back, that sort of
thing. Okay. They're really kind of agents of the of the government, yeah, or
Exactly.
of the Navy. Interesting.
Exactly. So you had like Sir Francis Drake. Of course, that's a name that many are probably familiar with, even if you don't remember exactly who he is. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I learned about him in history class back in the day, as well as Sir John Hawkins, and then of course Sir Walter Raleigh. Now, again, these were not the Pirates of the Caribbean. These were not the
right.
that era of piracy. And in fact, if we think about it, and we should probably always mention this when diving into this topic, pirates were villains. They were not heroes that we think of when we think of Captain Jack Sparrow or something of that nature. This was they were the tyrants of the sea. They were thieves. In fact, even in the Pirates of the Caribbean, the golden age of piracy, rather, they were very much villains. But arguably, the only thing more villainous than the pirates themselves was the governments they were rebelling against. And in the case
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
Elizabethan pirates, they were the government. So
yeah. No, that's yeah. I guess
they,
that makes sense.
they were slavers and colonizers. And so, and to further this even more, let's see if I get these dates right. So Sir Walter Raleigh was born 50 years after the death of Henry Avery. Now, Henry Avery is an important figure in
Okay.
piracy because he kind of inspired like the Blackbeards and the Benjamin Hornigals and the Bartholomew Roberts. Like,
Kind of the precursor to some of that.
exactly, his
Okay.
legend is what inspired the golden age of piracy to kind of kick off. And so, back before he was even born, 50 years beforehand, that's when our boy here, SWR, died. So
Yeah.
there's no direct lineage per se between the Sea Dogs and the pirates that we would kind of traditionally think of.
Sure.
All right, so I wanted to kind of state that to kind of give a nice like background to understand like what we're dealing with here. So these were the Sea Dogs, the Elizabethan pirates.
Beau, if they were in some sense tyrants of the sea, I just want you to know you were the tyrant of the studio. Or maybe the tyrant of iTunes. Would that be better?
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think you should roll with it. You need to know that you, in some sense, are their heir. You're the legacy in a very very odd way.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'd take that more for the traditional pirates than the Sea Dogs
No,
personally.
that's right. Yeah.
But of course, the Sea Dogs were set up by Queen Elizabeth. Now, this is Elizabeth the First. The Elizabethan era we are all very familiar with in terms of what that inspired for art and drama. And of course, Queen Elizabeth herself has been captured in film and books and just history in general. But interesting fact. So
Yeah.
Elizabeth I is actually the great great granddaughter of Elizabeth of York, and was actually the conclusion of the Tudor dynasty in the same way that Elizabeth the York, her
Yeah, I guess
marriage
that's right, huh?
was the beginning of the Tudor dynasty.
Okay.
She was, she was the one that kind of gathered up these Sea Dogs and kind of set them out. Now, she was quite taken with Walter.
Was he a favorite of Elizabeth?
You could say she really wanted to pack his pipe, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
Of course, he Sir Walter Raleigh rather, was very much kind of responsible, or at least accredited, for popularizing pipe tobacco and tobacco in general across England.
Yeah, of course.
Now, there's kind of a little bit of discussion about like, can he really be considered the godfather? Was he really the one that brought it over, or who really should be responsible there? But
Sure.
regardless of where your thoughts on that lie, there's no denying the fact that he was the one that truly popularized it.
Yeah.
And his relationship to Elizabeth, I mean, that goes hand in hand.
Well, yeah, obviously, if he had favor with the court and was very fashionable at the time, he was gonna, in anything he pushed, obviously, was going to, kind of carry that weight with it, right? And
Exactly.
so, it's like if you see your favorite celebrity, I don't know, wearing a certain type of sunglasses or whatever, then all of a sudden that's the thing, right? And so,
That's right.
yeah, I don't know, and then you start, smoking this tobacco, and it's yeah, it's fun.
Exactly. It's a P Diddy of his day. Actually, I'm not sure that P Diddy is the P Diddy of our day right now. Actually,
I don't know if he is, but yeah, no, he was the P Diddy of yesterday's today.
There you go. Yes.
Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense.
It can.
Go ahead.
So not only did he really kind of popularize pipe tobacco, he's also kind of accredited for bringing potatoes over to England as well.
Oh, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
as they're going out and they're doing all of these dirty deeds and such, they're also bringing back all of this kind of these new treasures in and of themselves. Not necessarily in the Spanish doubloon, although that was certainly part of it,
Right.
but also in these kind of goods and products that they'd never actually seen before. I mean, think about seeing a potato for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like think about what the revolutionary vegetable
Yeah.
tobacco and tobacco in general. For many that did not have kind of a cultural like that, for those that pipe tobacco was so integrated into the culture from everything from religious ceremonies to economics and everything else, then all of a sudden to have this like smoke pluming out of this stick, like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems almost like magic, as it was kind of going around. It's easy to see why Sir Walter Raleigh puffing on his pipe became such a statement so early
No,
on.
yeah, of course.
So, of course, he like again we said he was a favorite of Queen Elizabeth I. She did, well, I already made the pack his pipe joke,
Yeah.
but he was, I think he was kind of a charmer. He was
A dandy.
well, what's the right way to say this? She was more into him than he was into her.
Oh,
He wasn't necessarily shutting that down because let's be honest,
okay.
if you got that kind of access to the queen, you're not necessarily going to turn it down.
Yeah.
However, as he was hanging around her, there was another Elizabeth who was kind of in proxy to the queen. She was
Okay.
one of her gentlewomen
Okay.
who he was far more taken with.
Inclined to go after.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so at the risk of his position, he ends up marrying this other Elizabeth, who we'll call Bess, as history has. And this kind of puts him a little bit on the outs.
Okay.
But regardless, in his time of favor, Queen Elizabeth did give him kind of free range to go out and kind of colonize America. She's like, go to the Americas, take whatever you want. And so he did. He actually founded a colony called Roanoke. And while he was very good at killing and subjugating, he was not as good as establishing government because, of course, Roanoke became the lost colony.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Disappeared. Eventually Elizabeth would die. And along with that, his kind of free range to do basically whatever he wanted.
Okay, so he kind of his leash was shortened at that point. I guess because the people that were in power that were giving him kind of some of that license weren't there anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He no longer had his license to kill. He was no longer the James Bond of the sea, so to speak. And so he was then very much kind of given this option. All right, come home and do what you will here, but basically you're going to stop attacking specifically the Spanish because the new regime coming in, James I,
right.
he was really big on the Spanish and he was trying to kind of make things cool and groovy with them. And so all of this kind of, the sea dogs in and of themselves, the privateers of the day, had to stop what they were doing in order to maintain this kind of, new peace or kind of new relationship with Spain. At this moment, this is when Sir Walter really becomes a pirate. He moves from privateer and basically says, "No, I'm not going to do that. I kind of like going and, killing and taking these things. And there's so much gold out there." By the way, I hear tell that there's an entire city of gold. Are you familiar with El Dorado, John David?
No. So, I mean, yes, but I didn't realize that was connected.
So this is where I think it's really fascinating. Because Sir Walter Raleigh really does become more of a traditional pirate in the sense that, generations from then would come. He's now out. Yeah. He's now rebelling against his government. He's now going out and he is taking these Spanish ships and he's actually keeping their gold for himself. And on top of that, he is now in pursuit of a quote unquote buried treasure in the form of El Dorado, leading these kind of expeditions and search for him. And as he's doing this, he kind of goes a little above and beyond. Now, again, there's some different schools of thought here on who's to blame per se. But in his search for El Dorado, his crew basically starts sacking some of these Spanish outposts and kind of they're not like going in and being like, "Hey, we're here, stand down." We're like, "No, we're going to wipe you out." Right? They're going
That's
in
terrible. Yeah.
And they're just kind of wiping out these Spanish outposts. And, arguably you could say that, well, it wasn't him, it was his men. They did this.
Right.
It was the people that he sent out to go do this.
He had kind of deniability or something.
Yeah, and I think history has kind of granted him that to an extent, but arguably, how much did he have?
Right.
And ultimately, of course, the English government did not see that he had deniability, as when he returned to England, he was, of course, captured and executed for his acts of piracy.
Interesting.
Yes, sir. He died at age 65. And he had famous last words as well, which were, "Strike, men, strike," to the executioner, right, who was holding the axe to his neck.
Wow.
It's like kind of do it,
like,
do it.
bring it on. Yeah, like
exactly.
or maybe let's get this thing over with. Wow, that's
Right.
incredible.
Now,
Yeah.
this is something, we mentioned, of course, that his name is synonymous with pipe tobacco, and it is really because he did popularize it throughout England. And if you think about kind of all of the various ways in which tobacco has been kind of innovated in that space and in that region,
Yeah.
pipe tobacco specifically, you very much see him as kind of the father of pipe tobacco. You could argue that he's the father of the modern pipe tobacco era, or at least a grandfather, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, certainly one of those kind of like the church fathers, the early
That's yes, exactly.
early fathers. Yeah, it's right in
Absolutely.
there. And so, of course, one of the most common and popular tobaccos of the 20th century was named after him.
Exactly.
Sir Walter Raleigh, pipe tobacco we've all heard of, even if we haven't smoked it. It's one of those tobaccos that folks find countless little, old-fashioned tins of or pouches of, maybe in a relative that passed away. A lot of times, they'll have that with their pipe stash, and we think of it along with other brands like Flying Dutchman and Prince Albert and Borkham Riff, and just so many of those iconic drugstore over the counter brands that were incredibly popular and of course still made today. Sir Walter Raleigh, this was a tobacco that debuted in 1927. It's one of those classic burley blends that is aromatic in its own way. It's a lot of those over the counter blends. Kind of sold themselves as a non-aromatic, although they were sweetened. But the burley just was a nice, kind of a nice, heaviness to it, a nice kick. It had just a smoothness on the tongue and the ability to really absorb a lot of that, sweet. Sugar topping that they would put on the tobacco, and in the case of Sir Walter Raleigh, the aniseed that was there, just a little bit of hinted sweetness, and you get a little bit of that licorice in the background. So really nice, kind of a ribbon cut burley. It's got that easiness to load, and just moderate moisture level. Nowadays this stuff in 2000 was purchased by Lane, what is now STG Lane. Of course, we have a lot of friends over there,
Hmm.
Scandinavian Tobacco Group, and so it's distributed, all over the world. You can get it in a 1.5 ounce pouch or a 14-ounce can, the larger size can, and just a really handsome tobacco still to this day. It's one of those that I think a lot of people get a kick out of smoking, even if it's just for the trip down memory lane. So really good tobacco. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah, on the hamster cage level, it's it's going to be. I can't remember what direction was worse, but it's going to be on the lower end, I think, of the hamster cage tobacco.
on the worst end or
On the better end.
on the better
Yeah,
end?
on
Okay.
on the better end. Yeah.
Well,
If 5 means like the perfect absorption material for the bottom of your hamster cage, and that's the utility of that, then this is going to be like a number 1. Yeah.
well, maybe you know
It's
what?
not that bad.
I mean, John David, maybe it's time to give Sir Walter his proper dues. I mean, maybe the
Yeah.
Squire. I mean, obviously you couldn't call it Sir Walter Riley, but or Raleigh rather, as I mispronounce everything.
Yeah.
But you could theoretically call it like Sea Dog's Revenge or something of that.
No, you could.
nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll work on that.
One way or the other, man. I think that one of the best ways to kind of cap off a discussion about Sir Walter is to kind of look not just at his last words, but also the words that were left behind. While he was in prison awaiting his execution.
His execution. Okay.
There was a trinket that he left behind with even a note specifically so that there would be a message tied to it. And that was a small tobacco pouch that was found in his cell shortly after his execution. And in that pouch, there was an engraving in Latin. And can you are you able to
Yeah.
let's
Pull
see.
up the show notes here.
Well, and if I can't even say Raleigh right, then I don't need to read Latin.
Oh wow. Yeah. I don't even know if I should try it. Comes meus fute in io messimiro tempore.
Well, I think the meaning is what's more important.
And it says, "It was my companion at the most desirable." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It says, "It was my companion at that most miserable time." And wow, of course, talking about that his tobacco pouch, right?
Yeah.
And man, how of course dear it was to him. there in the depths.
It's so fascinating, man, looking back at some of these these people in history that have had such a major impact. Jewels in the Elizabethan era,
Yeah,
arguably
yeah.
second on, well, let's say
That's yeah.
in the top 3, top 5, I would say. I mean, you got William Shakespeare in there as well, and I don't know that you could argue
As
necessarily
far
that.
as culturally, I think you're right.
Yeah, and so, and of course, with Elizabeth herself being at the top of that line, but one way or the other, I mean, obviously a hero to some, a villain to others, and whose deeds are there to be judged
But
as they were.
yeah,
And
certainly
so
a central historical figure.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, man, Sir Walter Raleigh.
Yeah.
Raleigh.
Man, Beau, that was excellent, brother.
Thank you. Man, I love whenever we get a chance to dive into pirates.
Yeah.
Just like I love whenever I get a chance to dive into a new tobacco and make sure that it's a good quality, clean smoke, just like the great smokes you can get with pipes from Missouri Meerschaum.
Of course. And man, of course, our friends at Missouri Meerschaum are constantly mixing it up. And I love what they did this year. They came out with the St. Patrick's Day 2019 pipe bundle. Man, such a cool idea. And I was just stunned and so elated when I saw this pipe at its debut. The St. Patrick's Day pipe this year, just a stunning green stem. It's got just a really beautiful swirled acrylic stem. It's just so pretty. A large, generous bowl, similar maybe in size to a legend, or maybe a little larger, a little smaller than a country gentleman, perhaps. But just a very handsome pipe. This is something that when you smoke a Missouri Meerschaum, you're making a statement. But that additional little statement, that feather in your cap, if you will, of that beautiful green stem with the antique brass band. They've got this pipe bundle. It's really cool. It comes with a pouch of Erin go Bras pipe tobacco, and just a beautiful little set here in honor of St. Patrick's Day. From the folks at Missouri Meerschaum, they say St. Patrick's Day Combo 2019 to celebrate that special time of year that brings out the Irish in all of us. We have put together a pipe and tobacco combo that, together with a glass of Irish whiskey, will make you want to dance an Irish jig on St. Patrick's Day. The corncob pipe has a tall billiard-style bowl with a hardwood plug and a new green and cream-colored label on the bottom. The acrylic stem is green with a white swirl, and the shank is capped with an antique brass band. The combination of colors on this Missouri Meerschaum pipe are reminiscent of an Irish meadow, Irish cream liqueur, and a pot o' gold. The Erin go Bras pipe tobacco is blended by Scandinavian Tobacco Group, another same maker of Sir Walter Raleigh, in Denmark, and is described as a brilliant mixture of flue-cured Virginias, toasted white burleys, and sweet black Cavendish spiked with aged Irish whiskey. Refined and mellow with an inviting aroma. Available for the season. You may need some. Luck of the Irish to get one, so order soon. That's available at corncobpipe.com. That's where you can get all the good stuff from Missouri Meerschaum. It is out of stock currently. Keep refreshing, keep checking back. This is very highly coveted set that they've come out with, and just a really handsome corncob pipe. I think you'll be pleased if you can get your hands on one.
That's good, man. Well, yeah, if you are one of the lucky that are able, with the look of the Irish, if you're able to get your hands on one,
I was waiting on that.
Be sure to take a picture, put it out to the selfie. We'll retweet it out. It's a good way to let the good folks at Missouri Meerschaum know we appreciate them for sponsoring the show. That was a good accent.
You did well.
I think I did well by our Irish listeners there. All right, man. Pipe question of the week coming in this week from Byron Earnhardt. All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
He says, "Hey guys, I've been blending ever since your home blending episode last year.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
You got inspired. Awesome.
I'm having even more fun with my pipe through doing this. It's a blast. My question is, are there any home blending competitions out there or some kind of judging/review process for home blenders? I know that it's supposed to be for my own enjoyment, and it truly is. But part of me wishes that I could have my blends, the ones that aren't horrible, reviewed and also see what others are doing. Might make for a fun weekend akin to barbecue competitions."
Yeah.
Anyway, thank y'all for doing the show. And again, that is from Byron Earnhardt.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. You've kind of, like you said, got the concept of the, best barbecue or best, you've done gumbo competitions before,
Oh
things of
yeah.
that nature. Chili cook-offs. I think that's good. Where most people get started is their home pipe club or pipe shop, right? Other guys that or gals that you've met in the pipe community that maybe aren't home blenders, but are interested in pipe tobacco, and maybe their palate is, refined enough to appreciate kind of what you've done and give you some feedback. And that's where you start. There's not really a home blending, judge or anything, although, or competition, although, there's plenty of judgmental people in the pipe community. So I don't think you'll have to look very far to find one.
You can
but
find the judgment. The judgment is here.
there's plenty of judgment to go
Yeah.
around. Yeah. Including right here. At Country Squire Radio. But no, I think, go to your closest pipe community and see what you've got. It's just something that you're gonna have to make some, hand it out, get it to some of your friends if you're a member of a forum, perhaps on Facebook or any of the social media places or elsewhere. Put some feelers out. Say, hey, I've got this tobacco. This is a description. I'd love some feedback. Can I send it to you and get some thoughts? And man, there are tons of people in the pipe community that would love to do that for you, and it might even reciprocate too. There's guys that have done this long enough and have gotten good at it, and they've really developed their own following, and so I think there's plenty of ways you can really get some helpful feedback out there. Yeah.
That's good. Gosh, it's just such a cool idea. Obviously, home blending is a topic that we'll definitely revisit again in the future. And it always gets kind of a question whenever looking at the subject of blending is, how can we approach this from a different angle? And the idea of having some sort of review process or maybe even highlighting,
Home blends. Yeah.
yeah, home
Mhm.
blends might be kind of cool. I don't know. It's something worth
Yeah.
thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Byron. And hey, if you've got a pipe question of the week, be sure to send it in. show@countrysquireradio.com. Again, that's show@countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire question.
Ow!
All right, man. We got some quick fire questions brought to us by some great shirts from the Country Squire Radio.
Coming soon.
Oh, coming soon TM. Soon TM. Looking forward to getting those to you. Dang it. I really wanted to share what one of the shirts was going to be on this episode.
I think we've done it though.
But we haven't, though. We were going to, but then we didn't because we were going to do it on this one. But that's okay. That's all right. I just hope the scallywags out there would be excited to learn about.
Gosh, I mean, we could describe the shirt.
It is okay. All right.
Nah, well, okay, we'll come back.
We'll come back.
I messed it up. This is all on me. It's been kind of a crazy few weeks,
No,
and
man.
I've slipped in a few areas. But man, we're coming out with some cool shirts,
Awesome.
and you're gonna be excited.
Yar. All right, man. We've got a pirate edition here for Pirates of Pipe Tobacco for our quick fired questions. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
All right. If you're a pirate, would you rather have a hook for a hand or a peg leg?
Ooh, a hook for a hand.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. But man, but a peg, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the hook for the hand.
Okay,
Yeah.
the hook for the, I mean, like there is a classic iconic look to that, of course, but
Well, and the peg leg too, right? But,
true.
I mean, let's do remember both of these are like severe handicaps.
Exactly. Well, so that's what I'm thinking of. Like,
It's like both of these are like terrible things to have. But I'm trying to think. If I had the hook, let's see. I think
it ups the fear factor.
well, and that it seems like it would be more functional, right?
Buster Bluth.
I could,
I'm a monster.
I could like open it to or use it to open like tin cans, like my
Wow.
if I'm open Beanie Weenies or something.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, because there was
Yeah.
beanie weenies on pirate ships all the time.
Well, you can unscrew it and use it as a grappling hook or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
sounds kind of cool.
yeah. I'm gonna go with the hook.
Okay, I'm going with the peg leg because I need my digits.
I need my digits.
and I feel like I could probably, I could figure out the peg leg. All right, a pet parrot or a pet monkey?
Oh, don't make me pick.
Well, if you've got a hook for a hand, I feel like you're going to need the opposable thumbs of the monkey to help you.
Well, no, that's a good point. No, that's a good. Yeah, okay, I'll go with the monkey. I'll go with the monkey.
Are you going to go with the
These are
parrot?
great questions. I don't know. I could. I think I'll go with the monkey.
All right.
The
sounds good.
monkey could help me with the like you said, the tasks that I would have trouble only having one hand.
No, that's good. That's good. I would go with a scarlet macaw named Polly, my parrot. And then we got. Would you rather? All right, you got to bury some treasure. This is the scenario.
Okay.
Are you digging a hole in the sand? Or are you putting it in a cave?
I feel like every pirate needs a cave.
Yeah, I like that.
Like a skull
Like a
cave,
cove type
like a
situation?
cove.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
think
I,
that's-
I don't know. I'll go. Yeah, I'll put it in a cave.
Big cove.
Put some
with the-
chest up in the cave.
Yeah.
Maybe cover it with some seaweed or something.
Pack your pipe, sit on the chest, and around it yourself.
Yeah.
All right, yo, and a bottle of rum, whiskey, or wine.
Rum. You're a pirate. You gotta have rum.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had to choose, I think I might actually in that scenario go with wine. And I'll tell you, whiskey. No, listen to me.
Pirate Beau sitting there drinking his Pinot Grigio.
I didn't say Pinot Grigio
with his parrot and
I
his
would-
peg leg.
Hey, now I would go with I'd go with a bottle of red wine. We'd take a French
that's
ship.
Fantastic.
We'd take it for all its champagne and stuff. You got to remember, man.
Oh, that's
Back in the day,
fantastic.
actually, you really would go for the rum because back in the day, the classic pirates drank more fruity beverages akin to the type that you like.
Don't try to get out of this.
No,
you're
no.
the one that you're the pirate that's sitting there drinking Pinot.
All right, and then finally, death in battle, execution, or old age.
Ugh.
It's all got to come to an end.
Well, I mean, it all has to get there, right? But I don't know. I mean, battle. I guess battle. I mean, execution. They had some pretty gruesome ways of doing all that back then.
Yeah,
you know?
never,
I mean,
never the execution.
Sir Walter Raleigh got out of it easy. He got his head taken, but yeah, they had some other way. I don't know. And if you're really old as a pirate, you're probably miserable.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know. Bring on the battle.
Yes. Blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And then cursed and risen as a skeletal horror to search the entire seas for the treasure that I can never find again. All right, that was quick fire questions. Pirate edition.
Oh, mercy.
If you got some quick fire questions, we love getting those in. Show at countrysquireradio.com. Again, that is show at countrysquireradio.com.
Those were good, Beau.
Thank you.
Those were good.
I had some fun with
Those were
that.
solid. Yeah.
All right, man. We got some great listener feedback in. This is all coming in live. We got some great stuff, man. Dan Darkle is saying, I've been ordering from the Squire for a while, but new to the podcast. Hope you have some great tips for amateur blenders. You fellas at the Squire are masters of your craft. So yeah, again, we need to revisit blending. I think at least on an annual basis.
Yeah, home blending and blending. Catch yourself blending and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
You want to be caught blending.
So we've also got Hi Hat Harry, who writes in. He says, "Have not tried Raleigh blends, but Carter Hall is okay in my book."
Yeah, and also one thing I didn't mention, there is a aromatic version of Sir Walter Raleigh. Let's be honest, they're both aromatic tobaccos. The regular Sir Walter Raleigh is just kind of a lightly topped burley tobacco. It doesn't have the just the more heavily cased elements of the other, but they're both aromatic tobaccos. Yeah.
Also, let's see. We've also got. I should mention in the chat earlier there was a lot of discussion around me mispronouncing Raleigh.
Yeah,
Raleigh.
As there should be.
As there should be. Hopefully, I always try to be conscious of the fact that every episode is somebody's first episode. But if you've never listened to us before, hi, I'm Beau. I mispronounce everything. It's the dyslexia. Now, speaking of first time, man, we've got Toby Spry who's saying it's first time getting to watch the show. I said played hooky from work for other reason, but time to pack up and light and enjoy with the Squire. So,
that's right.
Yeah, shout out to Toby, man. First time tuned in live.
That's great. Yeah, man, absolutely. Joined by some old favorites on Twitter. We got Portland Paul. JD is looking super Jesus today. Super like Jesus today. Yeah, I just let my curls down a little bit. But I need to mimic him more in my heart. Let's just be real honest about it. Kilted Pipe Guy catching this week's Squire Radio live in the car while parked up waiting for food. Today's pipe is my K Woody. I don't remember much about Sir Walter Raleigh tobacco from school, but I do like his tobacco when I can get some. And really cool pipe that he's got there. Nice K Woody with the neat lucite stem. So and Portland Paul chimes in again. Always, as always, I'm with Beau and pirates. They rule. I appreciate the history lesson. Hashtag pirates forever.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then finally, man, I've also got Guys Got Pipes. Just tuning in from work. He said he felt compelled to log on and glad to to be joining everyone for this live Country Squire radio here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Man, I hope, just as a kind of closing out, I hope everyone had a great International Pipe Smoking Day. It's so easy for some of us, if you're out there and you're not really plugged into the pipe community, to kind of let it go by. But, it is a good time to reflect. We've got this, storied tradition that we like to hold on to and promote. And yeah, I would encourage you, if you didn't take advantage of it this year, next year go to your local brick and mortar, even if it's a cigar
yeah.
centric brick and mortar. Pull your pipe out, purchase something from them. Make sure they feel supported. But man, pull your pipe out and show those guys that it's still around, and man, we're vibrant and active. And I think it'd be a good opportunity to spread the good news.
And
Yeah.
we mentioned we've done recently an episode on lunting, which is of course walking while smoking your pipe or hiking while smoking your pipe. And I forgot, I wanted to share this with you, and so I'll leave this for those that haven't yet seen the my International Pipe Smoking Day video. My goal was, after selecting the tobacco, to actually go to go on a lunch.
To go on a lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Across the neighborhood. Of course, we currently live in the same neighborhood.
Was that the day it rained?
Well, no, it was a nice moment. It was one of the few days in the last couple of days where we had no rain, or at least it wasn't too bad. And so I was like, okay, this is great. And I was going to take my phone and do that thing, the walking selfie, talking on the video while I'm.
Those are awful to watch.
They really are. Well, fortunately, no one had to watch it because I, of course, was hooked up to Wi-Fi for the live cast.
Oh.
And so as soon as I get like 2 steps away from my house.
Yeah, it died.
Yeah. And people were sending me screenshots too of just how bad it looks.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so
that's wonderful. I didn't realize that. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I did actually lunt for a few moments, but all that to say that lunting on International Pipe Smoking Day is a great thing to do as well. So go to check out your local brick and mortar, pack up your pipe. Enjoy your pipe. Let folks know it's still around. It's a good thing to do. All right, man. Well, hey, we got all piratey on this one.
It was fun. Yeah, it was good. History lesson, and made some innuendos that were interesting, and talked about hooks versus peg legs, and it was a good day.
All the stuff you want out of pipes and
solid
pirates.
Country Squire radio episode.
Yeah, man. I think next time we do the series, I think the next pirate we'll be looking into is probably William Kidd.
Okay.
Who is oft depicted smoking a pipe, but I need to do more research about him. He's got a fascinating story, but the connection to pipe tobacco may be more of a superficial one. So I need to dive in more to get a better understanding there.
Okay.
But anyway, more on that next time we do the series. But I think, man, until then, let's go have a day.
See you, brother.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Always a blast.
We had fun. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah, and
thanks for joining us.
I'm sorry I mispronounced everybody's name.
No, it's
that's
okay.
What I do. It's part of my job.
That's part of the shtick at this point. So y'all have